Red deer are a common sight across much of the British Isles, and indeed in many parts of the world. However, it is perhaps little known that in Europe they are under threat of extinction. The red deer is the largest terrestrial mammal in the United Kingdom. They are instantly recognizable, particularly in the summer and autumn, because of their red-brown fur, and mature stags sport impressive-looking antlers, which can span up to 1 meter in width. Red deer are threatened with extinction in the UK and Europe. This is not the result of excessive hunting by man. Instead, it is the hybridization of the species with the Japanese sika deer. In the 19th and 20th centuries, a trend developed amongst the gentry of hunting exotic species. In the UK, it is a little unclear whether it was the second Duke of Westminster or his predecessors. However, his family established a deer park in Scotland at the Rosehall estate. At this, they kept herds of red, fallow, and sika deer for many years. During the late 1920s, the estate fell into disrepair, and the estate, together with the deer, was abandoned. The sika deer escaped the estate grounds and have subsequently impacted red deer populations in several ways. The sika deer have a much higher fertility rate than the native red deer, are prolific feeders, and will eat heather, leaves, pine needles, moss, branches, gorse, and bark. Sika are actively hybridizing with the native population of red deer. They are solitary by nature and can more readily create harems of female deer than their red deer counterpart. Unlike the red deer, the fertility of sika males is not impacted by the population density of deer in an area. Similar problems existed across Europe, and consequently, it is now calculated that 80% of red deer populations have been hybridized with sika deer. Despite this, the international conservation status is presently registered as least concern. Red deer eat leaves, grasses, heathers, and rushes. In the winter, they sometimes eat tree bark. Red deer favor forests, hillsides, and moorland. They are a common sight in many parts of England, including the Pennines, Cumbria, New Forest, the Peak District, Hampshire, and East Anglia. They are most prominent across Scotland. Stags and females, hinds, normally remain in separate groups except during the mating season, with the hinds living in rich grassy habitats and the stags in less inhabitable heather areas. The female groups tend to be groups of dependent offspring, whilst the males are disparate individuals. Only the stags grow antlers, which shed each winter. Each year their antlers grow more ornately and don't form a crown until the 4th or 5th year. The antlers consist of bone and grow during the spring months, but shed during the late winter. In summer, deer coats are a reddish-brown color, and in winter they are more grey in appearance. They mate between September and November, this period being known as the rut, whereby mature male stags leave their groups to seek out rutting sites and to find hinds. A stag will normally attempt to create a harem of up to 15 hinds to stop other stags from mating with them. During this period, males engage in roaring contests as well as locking of antlers. Following the rut, stags and hinds separate back into independent groups. After mating with a dominant stag, the hinds normally give birth to a single calf in late spring or early summer. Calves have a spotted coat to provide camouflage from predators and are left hidden in vegetation for a few months and only visited by their mother for short periods to suckle. Stags grow to a height of around 2.3 meters with a weight range of up to 240 kilograms. Hinds are roughly half the height and weight of stags. Notably, animals living in hilly areas tend to be smaller than their forest counterparts. As well as being smaller, it is perhaps the harsher environment that tends towards the hinds only bearing young every other year versus every year with the forest counterparts. The red deer's lifespan is normally around 16 years. They can live for up to 20 years, though this is rare. Red deer have no natural predators in the UK. However, they are an important source of food as carrion for golden eagles, common buzzards, pine martens, badgers, and foxes.